Hey, what's up everybody? JayborinoPlays here. I'm going to be starting a new Starcraft 1 series today. This is going to be Starcraft 1 Retribution. Now, similar to Insurrection, this was an official Blizzard-sanctioned add-on to Starcraft 1. It did come out, I believe, right around the time Brood War came out, but it technically does not use Brood War, so we're going to be going into original Starcraft here. Now, if you remember Insurrection, the voice acting was hilarious and goofy. I don't know about Retribution. I haven't even opened it. But from what I hear, Retribution is slightly better than Insurrection, which arguably makes it worse only because Insurrection was fun because of how bad it was. If Retribution is leaning towards mediocre, I don't know what that could mean. It might just mean that it's mediocre, so we'll see. I might release more of these just because I don't want this series to drag on forever. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out as we go to it. All right, Cara Dune. We're playing as Protoss first. I believe we do Protoss, Terran, Zerg, the gateway to Taledon. The quest for the Argus Stone. Retribution Chapter 1, The Legacy of Cara Dune.
Entaro Adun, Executor. I, Judicator Kisrath, have been asked to brief you on the circumstances surrounding your dispatch to Eridas. The High Council has entrusted this region to my command, so that I may oversee a mission of the utmost importance. In the age before creation, the Zelnaga regarded an ancient artifact above all others for its immeasurable power. Named the Argus Stone, it is thought to be located within the fabled city of Taledon. We believe our observers have uncovered evidence of Taledonian ruins here on Eridas. A Terran expedition is also investigating the ruins. They defile the site with their presence, and therefore must be eliminated immediately. Destroy the science building near the temple, and then escort my ship to the beacon our observers have placed nearby.
Okay, reclaim control of the Zelnaga ruins from the Terrans. Bring Kisrath to the ruins. Once they're in Protoss control, Kisrath must survive. Voice acting already, it's on the right track. It sounds pretty good. Let's get going. Okay, I'm gonna play with a higher game speed this time around. It's gonna feel like it's going super fast now that we're used to the slower game speed, but it'll be okay. All right, so normal Starcraft. Got to get used to normal Starcraft again. Here's Kisrath. Looks like an Artanis type hero. I don't know what the stats are like comparatively, but either way, wow, we have a lot of minerals here. Wow, we have a lot of minerals here. So the goal is to destroy this facility and bring Kisrath to the beacon. The question is, how easy will it be to get there? The map is not very small, and this is a mission 1, so I don't know how long this is going to take. What I think I'm going to do is probably just go ahead and make a bunch of Zealots and Dragoons, get Zealot legs, get Dragoon range, and just try to do as much damage as possible before this map spirals out of control. Because, you know, getting Reavers, getting High Templar, they're great units, but if you don't have to build them, they're very slow. It takes long to push across the map with them. They're very powerful, but I'd much rather just do like a bread and butter Zealot Dragoon, maybe even Archon group, and just try to push across this map quickly. So, what do we have up here? A forge. Interesting. We have a forge and a cybernetics core up here and a bunch of pylons. Alrighty, that's fine. Either way, we're going to need a lot of probes, so let's just focus on probes. The sooner we can get some extra units, the better as well. I don't know how hard this campaign is supposed to be. Insurrection had incredible difficulty spikes at random times, and then you'd have some missions that were very easy. So it was kind of hard to gauge what you were getting yourself into as you entered each mission. So, like, for example, the very last, was it Terran mission or very last Protoss mission? I think it was the very last Protoss mission. Was incredibly challenging, but then there were some missions in the Zerg campaign near the end that were just super easy. So I don't know if maybe that just had to do with my ability to play as those different races or what. I don't know. I may also get a bit more aggressive with editing this series if we have long, sloggy macro missions. And by sloggy, I mean just sitting here doing nothing as we build up an army. You know, the first time around, that's fine. You know, you do it for about 20 minutes. But then, you know, if we're just slamming our heads against the desk, trying to, you know, make more and more units to keep just sending waves and waves, that's when I might just go ahead and be like, all right, that's it. We're done here. We want to get a Citadel of Adun so that we can also get a Templar Archives. It looks like my entire tech tree is available, so it's going to be one of those campaigns. I will do my best to not make carriers every single map, or battle cruisers, or guardians, or what have you. I do like doing a varied ground force. In some missions, you know, I might do some Reavers, High Templar. At the same time, you know, we don't have Brood War tech, so we are fairly limited with what we're able to do. Where is this motherfucker going? Wait, what? interesting. Let's just go ahead and just start making a bunch more zealots. Oh, okay, so they're going to do that. That's fun. What I'm going to do is make some pylons on the low, or make a pylon and some cannons on the low ground just in case, because if they're going to be dropping up there, there's really nothing I can do about that. So let's just go ahead and keep making probes. Got to get used to my hotkeys again. Legacy of the Confederation was an incredible series, but very much unlike normal StarCraft. So it was, it's going to be strange to kind of get back into this with our normal tech trees. It wasn't back until like past purposes, I would say we had a fairly normal macro mission. It's been very micro-oriented since then. In fact, I don't think there have been really any like straightforward macro maps. There have been some holdout missions with Protoss, but otherwise, you know, I guess we had some Zerg macro as well. I don't know. Overall, it's just been different, so it's going to take some time to get used to. But I guess I sort of look forward to getting back into it. But again, these missions I hope don't get incredibly repetitive, and they very well might. All right, is this done yet? I think we need a Templar Archive either way. So let's go ahead and throw that down right now. And can we get +2? We sure can. We're just going to get ground armor, all this stuff. We're going to get a second forge. I'm going to get a second forge, rather. Get back on minerals, and then we're going to... Well, I would throw down some cannons, but I can't. So let's just go ahead and put 1 or 2 more probes on this gas. And we're just going to sit here, and again, we're going to make Zealots, Dragoons. A big thing with Protoss is getting your upgrades. And, you know, getting +1 on Protoss, I think, is valued way higher than +1 on pretty much any other race in StarCraft 1. In StarCraft 1, there's a huge, huge, huge emphasis on Protoss upgrades. So let's go ahead and rally up to one of these Dragoons or something. And sure, we'll get shields. Actually, no, cancel that. I would rather just get ground weapons. And we can start pushing out. It looks like there's just like random Marines in these trees. I'd like to push out and start clearing this out. So let's do that. We do have Zealot legs. Also, Zealots are melee, so they're not affected by the mischance, I believe, when we're attacking into trees. That's a big thing. You know, I've talked about in many different StarCraft 1 instances where there is a mischance when you attack into these trees. Very strange, but I believe it's there, but only with ranged units. So, you know, we're going to lose a couple things here. Actually, these Vultures actually going to do a lot of damage against Zealots, because Zealots are considered small. I'm pretty sure they're small. They're not medium. Pretty sure. Either way, we're clearing out these trees around our base so that we can maybe have a straight shot right to where we need to go. Let's just keep making Zealots. Once we get like 3-3-3 Zealots, they're going to be virtually unstoppable. It's going to be crazy good. Okay, well, let's just take this small group and move down in this direction and see if we can make our way towards whatever is at this temple. Because if we're lucky, this map won't be horrifically hard. I don't know if the enemy is set to like medium or insane or hard or, you know, easy. That's really gonna change how these maps play out. And I don't know what to expect. All right, we have a river here. So we're either gonna need to drop or there's a bridge. So let's look for a bridge at least. Okay, Firebat's not good. Firebat's going to do very, very well against Zealots. Lots and lots of bunkers, actually. Lots and lots of infantry. So we need to get out of here. We're kind of stuck in these trees. Let's back on out. Getting a couple Reavers might not be a bad idea, or just getting Psionic Storm. Both are going to be fine. We don't have enough gas, really, to support that, so I'm probably just going to make a bunch of Dragoons. Just a bunch of Dragoons and Zealots. We'll get a couple Archons, and then that should be it. Now, they are chasing me, but that's not a big deal. This is actually okay. We can get rid of some of these units. So it looks like here's a bridge. This is where we need to go. We need to push through this area. Getting a couple Reavers for those bunkers might be effective, or we just keep getting our upgrades, and we just do a Protoss, you know, Dragoon Zealot, maybe Archon Ball.
Upgrade complete.
So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. We'll get +2 and probably get +3 weapons once it's done. It seems like Psionic Storm wouldn't have been that bad because they have large balls of infantry. But, you know, ultimately we should be okay, especially if we get upgraded Zealots and such. Firebat's still going to do very good, but I don't know. Really trying to fill the space here as we're, you know, playing through this, as it's, again, pretty vanilla. And again, I hope this series doesn't get horribly boring or anything like that. You know, a lot of it's going to rest on the story and how unique these missions can get. But I'm not expecting much. You know, a lot of StarCraft 1 stuff, until you start getting into user-made custom content, is very straightforward compared to the original game. So, I guess that's just what we're going to sit here and expect for a while. But that's okay. I don't want every mission to play the same. I'll probably do different builds. And, you know, it's the first mission. We'll do Zealots and Dragoons. No big deal, right? But we will sit here as we wait for our army. And Can we get +3? Of course we can get +3. So this is a huge, huge fault, I think, in a lot of custom campaigns. Not custom campaigns, actually most user-made custom campaigns don't do this. But like Enslavers is a great example, and then Retribution here is also a great example where the map makers just decided to unlock your entire tech tree. I 100% disagree with this. I think if you give the player an opportunity to make carriers and arbiters, they're probably just going to do that to end the mission as fast as possible, because that's how newcomers to RTS like to play. That's how I used to play when I was a kid. And now, just for the sake of me recording this and showing it off, I'm trying to do something slightly different, when otherwise I probably at this point could have 2 to 3 carriers, maybe even 4, probably made 1 shuttle and then easily flown across the map and finished this very easily. But instead, you know, I'll make it a little interesting. We'll destroy this blue base. We'll have to push across here. I have no idea what could possibly be on the other side of this map. This is all very flat. We're like in a forest. The terrain, I still don't think the terraining would be as bad as Retribution. The map could have been smaller, though, and just cut out a huge amount of this empty space. It really depends, though, on what's on the other side of this map. All right, let's make a couple Archons here, and then we can probably take what we have and get going. So, we'll, you know, I'll utilize some hotkeys here. Alright, looking good, and then the +3 attack, I guess we don't really have to wait for that. I'm just going to wait for these Archons, and then we're gonna go ahead and go. We only have +1 shields. Actually, we don't have any shields, which is not good for our Archons, but again, they'll help push through these large swaths of infantry. Me coming through the trees is actually going to be really good. Oh, they're attacking me. These attacks are really small, though. Very, very, very small. Alright, warp them in. Cool. The attacks are very, very small. The AI is set to a very easy level, I'm pretty sure here. So I'm going to move my army down in this direction. I suppose I can bring Kisrath if I wanted to. Okay, it really also depends on what level upgrades they have. I'm not going to be able to... I have to click on them. I'm not going to be able to see. They're just 1-0. Okay, let's just start pushing through this. I'm pretty sure we'll be okay. They're also in the trees. See, they've got tanks and stuff. Kisrath, I want you to come down here. Wow, that's a lot of tanks. Of course they have 8 million tanks. Okay, so here's where we have to consider backing out. All right, Kisrath, this is going to be you, buddy. Okay, let's back these out. Back this stuff out. Lure them into my Archons. Okay, Kisrath, no. And again, they've got a lot of tanks, so we're going to back out. Gonna back out, of course. And it's going to be one of those... I can already tell you it's one of those campaigns. I'm just going to go ahead and make a bunch more gateways. So as Protoss against tanks, I really think Zealots, just straightforward Zealots, are kind of the way to go here. I really think just normal Zealots would be absolutely fine. We can keep getting our upgrades. Let's get shields now. It's a lot of gas. Unfortunately, we can't make more, or we can't have more gas. But honestly, there's a teal Terran somewhere on the map. Their attacks that they're sending are like nothing. But we're just going to need a lot of Zealots if we want to push through this. I suppose we can get some shield batteries for Kisrath, because I don't want to fuck around with losing my hero at this point. And again, keep in mind, this map is all about learning. We're learning what to expect from this campaign. You know, because who knows what else we're going to see here. And so we're learning, you know, what to expect from the AI, what to expect from the way that the mapmaker terrained his crap. So we have to deal with this kind of shit. A million, you know, there's 4 to 5 tanks down there. That's why we're going to need Archons. Oh, these guys still have the Varigoth sound files. I need to make sure to get rid of those. Whoopsie daisies. You know, in the long run, not a big deal, but, you know, I got to make sure to remove those. Granted, Varigoth is awesome. Okay, so let's just start making Zealots, Dragoons, Zealots, Zealots, Dragoons. Just rally on up here. Okay, and then we've got these cannons to defend me from backdooring from Teal. Granted, you know what I could also do is just make a shuttle, fly some units down here, very easily kill the science facility, and then just drop Kisrath on the beacon. Is that what we want to do? Is this lined with missile turrets? So maybe a lot of this also has to come... It comes down to, like, how cheeky can you be? Maybe these maps are meant like they expect you to kind of find ways to circumvent these enemy bases, which, if that's the case, certainly seems like it wouldn't be a big deal to easily fly across this chasm, but There's like a couple. There's a couple. I could, you know, make 6 scouts, kill 1 missile turret, drop in like 6 zealots and 2 dragoons, and then easily finish that. But unfortunately, perhaps it's too late for that. I've already committed, so we're gonna keep making dragoons. Let's make some High Templars at T. It's T. And then zealots and zealots. And perhaps what we have here is enough. I'm gonna go ahead and throw down a save. So this is Retribution Protoss 01. So let's move down in this direction and see if we can push through those enemy lines again. I'll bring Kisrath again. That's not a big deal to me. And let's just move everybody down in this direction to help push faster. Again, I probably should just not even bother, but it's too late. I should have scouted and seen like, oh, I could easily cross this river with a shuttle, but instead I instinctively looked for a bridge that is very heavily defended. So let's just keep making zealots. As long as all of my gateways are building at some point. You guys turn into an Archon. And Kisrath, you know, we're going to have you hang back for now. And let's go ahead and just push down into this base. Lots and lots of tanks. Lots and lots of bio. Holy shit. Do we have enough? It's gonna be close. I need to micro down these tanks. Actually, this is going okay. Yeah, you know what? I think this is okay. Kisrath, get in there and start hitting the tank at least. Very, very slowly, but keep rallying in here. Kisrath back out now. Kisrath, please just go home. Okay, we've got extra units now rallying up, so now we have to just push our advantage and smash through this blue base with our extra units. So everybody rally on up here, and here, and here. I'm rallying on the minimap if you can't tell. I'm right-clicking on the minimap, which should rally me up here. All right, so we've definitely pushed through this area. These bunkers aren't even full, lucky for me. Or are we just not in range? No, there's nothing in those bunkers. Probably should have just pushed down in this direction and snuck through, but oh well. Again, a lot of this just has to do with map knowledge, and if the map makers expect you to understand that, I mean, I don't like hand-holding, and I like experimentation, so it's my own fault. I should have earlier just been like, yeah, you know what, let's just fly across the river. But I also thought, oh, it's the first mission, let's try to make this a little more interesting and actually see some battles here. But in the future, you know, I'll look for how to actually finish these missions as quickly as possible without brute force. Also, my play style is very much brute force, so this is how I like to play. Anyway, blue is gone now. Who knows, though, what's across this river, so that's why I'm still, you know, non-stop making stuff. The map makers are very generous with their mineral fields, though. I like that a lot. All right, so let's auto-attack across this bridge and hopefully not get path blocked on the bridge. All we have to do is move across and get rid of these science vessels. So if you're curious about the Archon voices, if you didn't watch my Legacy of the Confederation playthrough, that is Varigoth. I never removed the sound folder. Whoops. So I'll make sure to look out for that. Oh my god, so you know what? Cloaked Wraiths, I don't care. Let's just move in here and finish this. Kisrath. Alright, it's gone, so just move to the beacon. I'm not going to bother with observers, but in the future I need to remember to make observers.
This is only a conduit to the main ruins that lie on the other side of the river. However, I am sensing psionic resonations from the Xel'Naga artifacts at that site. Take me to the ruins, and I will see to the humans myself.
Oh, of course. So now we have to push over to the right. So hopefully that's not a big deal, but what I do know is that I need a robo facility. And you know what? The faster that we would have learned that this is what we needed to do, the faster this would have ended. So unfortunately, again, it has to do with just having prior knowledge of these maps, which I don't have. So this is just sort of how it's going to go. Make dragoons, make dragoons, make dragoons, and, you know, a couple zealots. Meanwhile, let's just keep taking these forces that we have, which are looking pretty good. And I'm just going to auto-attack to this beat. Wait a minute. Is this not connected? It's not connected. Well, let's double check up here. There must be either there's another, perhaps there's another another path. So we're gonna auto attack over here. Kisrath, just go home. We are supply blocked. Cancel everything that's queued up. We don't need any more. We might just need a bunch of shuttles now. Great. Okay, so let's throw down a big pylon farm. We got a ton of money. I could take another base down here, but oh, there is indeed another bridge. So we're gonna have to push across that ramp now. Fun. So these are basically kill everything maps. Granted, we could have circumvented that blue base, and that's what I wish I would have done. Okay, move on over here. Oh, we need an observatory. So throw that down, because we definitely are going to need observers. And this does not look like a fun thing. This does not look like a fun bridge to cross. But actually, I think we're going to make some headway here just with these Archons. If we can just push across and kill the tanks. Oh my god, defense matrix, of course. You know what? We did make it across the bridge, so now I'm going to rally everybody across the bridge. Across the bridge. Zealots, zealots. Across the bridge, dragoons. Across the bridge, dragoons. Across the bridge, zealots. Across the bridge, zealots. Okay, hey. So the level of difficulty here is certainly, it's certainly pretty high, it seems like. It doesn't seem like it's messing around. Let's get a couple observers. Okay, and let's keep getting upgrades, I suppose. We've got 3-3. We just need to level up our shields now. So let's wait until we get a nice ball of units and then re-push across that bridge. Kisrath is looking fine. Kisrath's voice acting, I'll say again, is pretty darn good. I think we'll take these units. Okay, so they've upgraded Stim Pack. They do like setting up a bunch of tanks. Let's see if, you know, now that we're not going to be choke pointed on this bridge, we can push more easily through this. Of course, they have random tanks on the high ground. This is going to be, yep. So this is one of those. This is one of. Why not just make mass carriers? Again, this is what I say. Like, why not? Because if they're going to put tanks up on the high ground like that, this basic kind of, even Reavers would not be able to shoot uphill like that. So we're gonna have to like run a gauntlet through here. So I don't know. That's it's just annoying, this kind of stuff. Very, very just annoying. So as we slowly push through these large groups of the Marines, large groups of vultures, this is where I think like maybe I should have gotten Storm. So I guess now let's research Storm. And this is all stuff now. The mission is going to go way longer than it needs to go because these are things that I didn't really expect earlier on. So let's go ahead and come down here and we'll take this base so that we can have an extra gas right there. And then slowly gather around this bridge so that we can kill those big groups of units over here. But these tanks up on the high ground, this is the kind of stuff we're going to have to worry about. But as we get 3-3-3, our units can kind of survive tank blasts. It's just finding the proper route to the beacon. It looks like there's science vessels that are probably going to EMP me. I'm going to guess that they're going to EMP me. I don't have enough gas to comfortably tech into air now. It's like too late. I think it's too late. So now this is just where we are. Let's make some High Templar, some more Zealots. Might as well spend our minerals on Zealots. Even though my Zealots are, you know, they can't get to those tanks up on the high ground. But hopefully with Dragoons, enough Dragoons, they'll be able to shoot up there and get rid of them. So, if you can't tell, now, you know, I'm getting just slightly fed up already. But again, I might utilize the first mission here. I'm probably not going to edit it all, but you know, expect me to be pretty aggressive with editing in future maps because I don't want to. I just don't want this to take forever. I really don't, and it's going to at this rate. So strap in. Okay, stop. And the big thing is there's those tanks on the high ground. They're just murdering the shit out of me. Let's make Dragoons now. Maybe too many at one gateway. We want to spread out our production. Just about done here. We can take just 2 probes. Move them down here. I'm really only doing this for the gas, but we may need to saturate these minerals too. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and save. Because it's about time to start just running in like through the gauntlet, trying to attack into this stuff. So, again, 3-3 Zealots should be okay here. I want you to push up in this direction, friends. Move away. Move up here. I want to push through and destroy their production. Okay, there is a way up this ramp. That's actually a big deal. So move up the ramps. This side over here, though, we might be kind of screwed. Okay, good, 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 good. All of you move up in this direction. Exclusively. Defense matrix, obviously quite annoying. Move my observer over. And units are constantly getting kind of stuck in this little area, which is very annoying. Okay, keep pushing up in that direction. Stop going that way. They're not even building out of these buildings. The question is, could I just make a run with it with Kisrath? I might just save and go for it. Kisrath, where are you, actually? There we go. So Kisrath, come on over here. Okay, so let's go here. And here. I'm re-rallying. Rallying here, here, and here. Okay, so Zealots, Dragoons, and we're out of money. So here's why. Okay, so I'm going to save. And I've killed enough of these missile turrets on this high ground that maybe I can just make a run for it. Let's try it. I think we can make it. Cool. Please end. Cool, and that was it. So, yeah, I think a lot of this is just, like, maybe learning how to circumvent defenses. I also realize I have a lot of units down in the bottom right that I never used. I had a lot of units down there. Whoops. Someone was probably real upset about that. But, hey, we did it, again. I don't want to be super negative right away, but if every mission is just a slog like this, expect a lot of cuts, but I am committed to this series. I do want to play through it. The voice acting seems great. We'll see what kind of story we're dealing with. And maybe it's also because I'm just coming off of Legacy of the Confederation, which was just incredible in almost every way, that it's going to be hard for anything I play after to match up. Alrighty, well, hey, this has been Jayborino. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.